Hello, we are going to talk about collaborating with BingChat as we continue to play around with AI that does wonderful things like design ideas and cool little presentations. Today we're going to use BingChat as a partner in project tuning. So I've written a super simple prompt that I'm sure could be improved, but it says, given the 6 A's from Adrian Steinberg: authenticity, academic rigor, active exploration, adult connections, and assessment. It looks like I'm even missing one there, but you'll see that ChatGPT will figure that out. I'm going to get my punctuation correct here. We're going to give this to Bing Chat, and we're going to see what it can do with it. I'm going to be in creative mode because that uses GPT-4, which tends to give the best results. I'm going to put that in there, and I'm actually going to add to it saying ready. Last time I tried this, it gave me a whole bunch of information about the 6 A's. So sometimes this will shortcut it, so it just says ready. All right, excellent. I'm going to go pull a musical instrument project that I did a long time ago. This is just the rubric, not the full description, but it should be enough. I'm just going to paste that in and let it chug on that for a little bit. And you can see, I believe, while that's running, I forgot one of the 6 A's. Add authenticity, rigor, adult connections, assessment, and I believe we'll get one more. It's giving me 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. It's interesting, I get different ratings at different times, depending on how I ask the prompt, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in your writing specifically, but we'll see how this can help in a minute. Okay, so now I'm noticing that I only have 5 A's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't remember the 6 A offhand, so I'm just going to ask about it. It's going to go to the web. It's going to look it up. Added value. So that's the one I forgot. 2 out of 5. I think music is a common good, but we can disagree on this. All right. Interestingly enough, ChatGPT and GPT-4 responds to kindness and specificity. So I try to work that into prompts wherever I can. Actually, I find that I'm naturally inclined to think, give me 3 brief ideas of how I might improve this project. You can also, by the way, there's a little microphone here. You can just talk to it too if you prefer. And I'm going to get some ideas here, and I can even comment on those ideas and say what I like and what I don't like. So this idea really is quite interesting of bringing in some cultures that students are curious about, or genres. So I could say, I really like the cultures and genres idea. Can you rewrite the description and rubric with that criteria in mind. And I think one of the interesting things about ChatGPT is that the creation is free. Like you just get lots and lots of content back. It still takes a lot of expertise to judge the product you get back. So if I wouldn't actually just use this verbatim, I would try to see whether this resonates with what I'm trying to get out of the project or my personal values as a teacher and so on. And I think that's actually an interesting question going forward for students, whether the aim of like what is the way that we interact with GPT? How do we build this understanding of what is good and what is well done, not just accepting its instructions or its opinion without that discussion. All right, so you can see that it's rewriting my rubric for me, integrating those things in here, and a lot of this stuff is, I don't know about you, but rebalancing rubrics is not exactly the most fun part of my job when I'm building a project. Getting everything in there that I value is, and so using GPT to sort of do some of the validation work on the back end. If I integrate this in, what does it change? And looking at those changes and deciding whether I'm okay with it or revaluing various points. So you can see that we've got presentations in here, documentation. If we look in here a little bit, we should see chosen musical genre is now showing up, style or culture, and how they influence the development use of musical instruments. So we've got a little bit more humanism into this project that was mostly an engineering project when I ran it many years ago. Just for fun, we're going to push the boundaries a little bit. So take my ratings on the 6 A's and create some Python code to visualize those ratings on a spider web diagram. So here, as another example, knowing what a spiderweb diagram, even knowing the Adrian Steinberg 6 A's, and knowing that Python code will solve this problem are all things that are very useful context for me to give this this tool in order to have it do what I want it to do. So we're going to let that's telling me how to do it. And so this is now telling me how to do it. I actually want to just get the code, so we'll see if Bing will do that. Cool. Interesting, the last time I asked it, it used different libraries, but this will work just fine if I have them installed. We'll create a new file here. And if this doesn't work with a library, I'll have it converted to the library that I do have installed. So we're going to copy this code. By the way, bad idea to copy and paste code and run it that you don't know what it does. So I'm going to just quickly make sure that this isn't doing anything funky. I'm going to run this. We'll see if we get a file out the other end. You can get yourself a cup of tea while you wait. While that's running, I'll show you that before I did it with matplotlib and numpy, so we can also get GPT to do that. All right, good. So that one will work because that's what I have had previously. And what is interesting, and you can even see up here, AI is starting to get integrated into everything. So this is the GitHub Copilot. So anytime you see Copilot, that's a Microsoft version of AI. And we're starting to see that just show up everywhere, for better or worse. I'm not saying it's necessarily better in all cases, but it is different. All right, so we're going to copy this in here. I'm going to save it as our third iteration here. And this one should run because I know I have those libraries installed. Oh, interesting. We want 3 here. Let's see if this one works here. It might be that I still have this image open somewhere. There it goes. All right. So now I've got my spider plot, and that is pretty amazing that Chat knows enough to write a Python program to give me this visualization. So that is a bit of a long explanation of some of the things that you can use, but I would encourage, if you're going to use ChatGPT or BingChat, to think of it as a conversation back and forth, and if it tells you something that you don't like, tell it what you don't like and see what happens. And also leverage established things that are out there. So, so if you would say, if I were to introduce this project using understanding by design, how would you set that up? And so if you use known things out in the universe in terms of processes or methodologies, it's going to be quite good at turning those things into things just to think about, right? So here we're going to talk about this musical instrument project, and it wants me to, set up the learning goals and then give students some experience with it and so on. I'll let that run out just because you might be curious, and then we will end with this video. All right, and you can see that it's going to cite some web resources that I use to generate this, which is a nice thing that BingChat incorporates as some references to where it is getting its information from. All right,